Hello guys, welcome back to my channel. Okay, for this video, we're going to do a first impression review of a luxury brand, and it is a cushion foundation. And this luxury brand, I've heard a lot about this luxury brand, and it's well known to be a famous luxury brand that a lot of people buy with their designer bags, even their clothes and some of their shoes. And this brand is a French brand from Christian Dior. This is the Dior Forever Cushion Foundation, and the one I got here is one of their limited edition oblique version. This is from their oblique design, from one of their best-selling designer bags, and as you can see, it has the name Christian Dior. And in this design, I'm sure a lot of people are familiar with this design when it comes to Dior. So the one I got here is their luminous matte. This is their Dior Forever Perfect Cushion, which is a luminous matte cushion. So the one I got here is, I don't know if you can see it, but the one I have here is in the shade 2W Warm. So let's see. Now when I got this, it's actually, I'm kind of embarrassed to tell you the truth, but somebody already used this, and this case is already been used, but it's still as good as new. And for the refill, and I also got a refill that's never been used because someone was selling it and she couldn't use it, so she even gave me the refill. And so the product is new inside, and because it doesn't come with the puff, I'll just use my other puffs that I have. Now this is how it's underneath, so I'm gonna remove the seal. It's so satisfying to remove a seal. Okay, so this is how it is. As you can see, there's a Dior logo. As you can see here, there's a Dior logo here. So I'm gonna apply the cushion foundation. Now remember, I got in the shade 2W, and I don't know if this is a good match, but hopefully this is a good match for me, because they claim that any of the number 2 shades in their foundation lines are actually light medium, and because the shade is 2W Warm, hopefully it will match my undertone because I have warm skin tone. So let's apply this cushion. Okay, gonna pick the product. Okay. I pick up the product and pat the excess. I don't want to apply too much. It has a floral scent, but I'm not really a fan of the scent. So let's apply it here. Actually I have a pimple patch here, but we shall see if this will emphasize the pimple patch. Hopefully it will cover well, because most foundation that I use, whenever I put a pimple patch, it actually makes it obvious I'm wearing pimple patch. So we shall see how this foundation performs. This claims to be a medium coverage, and it can be buildable, but I don't know. Did I apply a really thin layer? I mean, I couldn't see much coverage. Pick up more my nose. I don't know if it has something to do with the puff, that it absorbs the product, I think. Okay, this is the foundation on one side of my face compared to this side. Now for the shade 2W Warm, it's a little light for me, but the undertone, I don't know if it's really that warm, because I don't know, it doesn't look like the shade is warm. It kind of looks like it's similar to a neutral color, I don't know. And the coverage is good, but I can still see some of my dark spots peeking through. So I'm gonna try to see if I can build up the coverage on this side. okay, I can say it's kind of buildable, but it's not really fully covered, so I wouldn't call this a full coverage, and it's not even a high coverage. It's simply a medium coverage that you can just build up, but I think you might need concealer for this. So I'm gonna apply the cushion on the rest of my face. I don't think a thin layer is enough for me to cover some of my imperfections on my face. Okay, this is how the foundation looks like with this Christian Dior Forever Perfecting Cushion. Now remember, I'm in the shade 2W Warm. I'd say that the color is a little light for me and it's not that warm for me. And for the coverage, is really medium, and I don't think a thin layer is enough for me to cover any of my imperfections. But right now, I just applied more layers on my dark spots and in my under eye area where I have some imperfections I wanted to cover. So yes, it's buildable, but it's still a little peeking through. And the coverage, that's how the coverage looks like. And the finish, a lot of reviews say that a lot of Dior foundations are kind of gives you that you're obviously not wearing foundation. That's what a lot of people are impressed with their Dior foundations, because it doesn't look obvious that you're wearing foundation. It actually blends with your skin, as what they say. I can say it does look like it blends with my skin, and it looks natural. I know on camera it looks like my face is lighter than the rest of my neck, but that's just in the camera. But in real life, it's not really that light on me. But I have acidic skin, so a lot of foundations oxidize on me. So we shall see how this foundation performs when it performs well throughout the day, and see if it oxidizes, will it separate, will it fade. So I didn't use primer and I'm not gonna apply powder, so we shall see how this foundation performs throughout the day without primer and powder. So I'm gonna do a wear test on this foundation just to see. So this is my first impression of this, and so far I kinda like it. So we shall see throughout the day. So I'll see you guys later. Okay guys, here's an update of me of wearing the Christian Dior, this is my review, this is my updated review for the Dior Forever Cushion. Now here's how the foundation performs. I've been wearing this cushion foundation for almost 12 hours already, and so far, as you can see, my face is starting to look oily. I did blot my face like around 6 hours after I applied the cushion foundation, and here's how the cushion performs after 6 hours since I blot my face with blotting paper. Okay, I'd like to introduce you to my two nieces. They just wanted to appear in this video. Anyway, after I blot my face after 6 hours of wearing this cushion foundation, so it actually mattifies my skin, and to my surprise that it didn't really oxidize. And right now it's been almost 12 hours since I applied this cushion, and the cushion shade, it is still a little light for me, so the cushion didn't really oxidize that much. It actually slightly oxidized. So now I'm going to test this if I could retouch this cushion foundation to see how this performs. And it's a perfect timing for me to retouch because me and my family are going to church tonight. So I'm gonna blot my face with blotting paper and then retouch with the cushion. What are you doing? And here it is. As you can see, there's a lot of oil on my forehead. My forehead's really much more oily. Okay, now that I removed the oil on my face, here's how the cushion foundation looks. As you can see here in my nose area, the cushion foundation fades. I can say that naturally it fades because I have an oily skin, and it seems that here in my nose area it really fades. But to my surprise, my chin area, it didn't really fade that much. I mean, to my surprise, this cushion foundation performed better. I mean, the fading on my nose, it doesn't look really that bad. It looks like it naturally fades, like, you know, there's some, it has a clean fading, if you know what I mean. That it doesn't look messy. It just looks like it just fades beautifully, if you know what I mean. So here it is. So I'm gonna do a retouch with this cushion foundation.
Okay, I will order a baby.
Okay, and pat the excess, and then I'm gonna retouch with the cushion. Will you stop messing with my bed? Okay, this is how the makeup looks after I retouch with the Dior cushion foundation. So far, it didn't look cakey on my face. It looks like I just freshly applied. It looks like it's fresh after I just applied the cushion. So I'm gonna do another wear test later, and I'll share you with my final thoughts on my first impression of the Dior Forever Perfect Cushion. So I'll see you guys later. What are you doing? Okay, that's enough. Okay, last update of my review of my first impression review of the Dior Forever Perfect Cushion. Now here's I've been wearing this foundation for like almost 16 hours already have passed, and this is how my thoughts on this cushion foundation. At first, when I first applied it, I wasn't really impressed with the coverage because it didn't cover much of my dark spots and blemishes, but at the first layer, and then when I tried to build up, it seems to be an okay, but the finish is actually nice. That it looks like it really looks natural, that it gives you that look that you don't look like you're wearing foundation, but it's still obvious that I kind of look like I'm wearing foundation because of the difference between the color of the foundation and the color of my neck, because the shade I got is 2W warm and it was a little light for me, but I kind of I was hoping that the shade would oxidize, but throughout the day, this cushion foundation, the Dior cushion foundation, doesn't really oxidize that much. There's just a slight oxidation, which is what's good about this cushion foundation. Is that it doesn't really darken throughout the day. So that's the good points about this cushion foundation. And surprisingly, after wearing this for like more than 11 hours or so, there's some fading here in my mostly in my nose area, but there wasn't any fading on my chin area, which surprises me because this is one of those foundations that I am impressed that it didn't really fade or separate here in my chin area, but my nose area, it actually fades. And when it fades on my nose, it doesn't look bad. It doesn't look like it looks cakey or it looks patchy. It just looks like the foundation slowly disappears on my nose. Like it's kind of like it blends well with my skin, if you know what I mean. And like I said a while ago, when I give you a check-in, it looks like it fades on my nose beautifully. and then I even tried to do a retouch on this cushion foundation, and the Dior cushion foundation didn't look cakey when I retouch. So I'd say that this Dior cushion is good for retouching. And so here it is. And after I first applied it this morning, my first impression was that it looks glowy on my face, and I thought that I was wearing a glow cushion foundation. And then when I touched my face, I was touching my face just to see how the finish feels on my skin. It feels matte when I touch it on my skin, especially here in this area where it's a little drier. It feels matte, and even though it looks glowy on the face, it still feels matte. So I can see why this cushion foundation is called luminous matte finish. So this is what they call a luminous matte finish, is that it feels matte on when you touch it, but it has a glow finish. So that's what they meant when it's a luminous matte finish. So, and it's oil control, because I did not wear any primer and I did not set this with powder. So I would say that the oil control of this is, let's just say, about mid, just around average. So maybe if I set this with powder and use primer underneath, it will probably look less oily. So which is why in the next day I'm gonna do another wear test of this cushion foundation. I'll use with primer, and then I'll set this with powder. So I'll see you guys on the next day. Okay guys, this is the second day of me reviewing the Dior Forever Cushion Foundation, and this time I'm gonna use with mattifying primer and set this with powder. So let's get started. I already done with my sun skincare and sunscreen, and the sunscreen that I use is actually what I'm gonna use as a mattifying primer, because this is a matte sunscreen. This is from Skintific Matte Fit Serum Sunscreen. This is a matte sunscreen, so I'm gonna use this as mattifying primer. I'm already done applying this sunscreen, so let's just proceed with the cushion. I'm gonna be using two makeup tools. One is this big cushion puff that I got, because this one doesn't absorb any foundation. And the other one is I'm gonna use a brush just to see if it has better coverage with brush or with a sponge that doesn't absorb products. Okay, let's apply. Here, pick up the product. I'm just gonna see if I can just tap a little, then tap. I'm gonna use a brush on the other side. I think it has better coverage if I use with a brush than with a sponge. Let's see if I can cover this pimple here. And it's gonna blend it with a spot just to clear any streaks. I'm gonna try to build up the coverage here in my under eye areas. Okay, now that I'm done applying the cushion foundation, now I'm gonna set this with powder. I forgot to tell you that when I tried this yesterday, I'm very surprised and see that the Dior cushion foundation did not cling or emphasize any of my fine lines in my forehead. Like, even if I layer it, as I don't know if you can see in my forehead, it didn't emphasize or cling into my fine lines, which is a lot of my other foundations shows. But this one, it doesn't cling in my fine lines, especially here in my laugh line. So that's the good part about this cushion foundation. Now let's see if I can how this cushion foundation performs if I set this with powder. Okay, now I'm done setting this cushion foundation with setting powder. Now I'm gonna do another wear test of this foundation, and this time I set this with mattifying primer and I set this with setting powder. So I'll see how this performs throughout the day. So I'll see you guys later. Okay, here's my final update of reviewing the Dior Forever Cushion Foundation. Now here's how I review this foundation now that I use a mattifying primer and I set this with powder. Right now, as you can see here, I'm all sweating, and this foundation claims to be transfer proof, so we shall test this foundation if it's really transfer proof now that I'm sweating. Now I'm gonna use a tissue and I'm gonna wipe the sweat off of my face to see if this is definitely transfer proof. And I don't know if the foundation is sweat proof because I can see some patchiness on my face, so we shall see. Okay, moment of truth. I don't know if I don't know if you can see it, but there's definitely some minimal transfer. There's definitely transfer. As you can see, there's definitely some stain here. I just turned off the light just so you can see. There's some stain here that is mixed with there's some stain here at the paper towel. I don't know if you can see it on camera. It's there. There's some minimal transfer. There's not much. So there's less transfer on the paper towel. Okay, let's see if there's any fading after I wipe it off. Okay, here on this side where I sweat, there's not much fading here, but here in my nose area it's already fading, and I already noticed that the nose area is already fading before I wipe my face with paper towel. So it's same as yesterday that it fades on my nose, but not in a bad way. It still looks like it faded nicely on my nose. And here's my review on this cushion after I set this with powder. a few minutes after I was filming this, when I set this with powder, I looked at myself in the mirror when I was walking my way to work. I looked at myself in the mirror. I can see that the foundation looks like it got a little dry. I mean, yes, the foundation looked dry, and the luminosity has disappeared. I know that it's natural that the luminosity will fade because of powder, but it kind of makes when I set this with powder, the cushion foundation looks like it looks dry on my skin. I don't know why, but it looks dry on my skin. It made me thought maybe maybe the Dior cushion is not compatible with powder, or is it because of it's not compatible with the brand Makeup Forever, because the powder I use is the Makeup Forever Ultra HD setting powder. I was thinking, is it suitable? Is it not suitable with Makeup Forever brand, or is it just the powder in general? I was thinking if I try other powders, maybe it will work. But using the foundation alone without powder, it looks really nice on the skin. And also another thing is here in my chin area, after wearing it for like 6 hours, I noticed that here in my cheek areas, there's some separation. I mean, just 6 hours and there's already separation here, but here in my chin area I also noticed it's separating. I was thinking, is it not compatible with any matte products beneath the foundation? Because the one I use to mattify my face is this sunscreen from Skintific. This is their matte fit serum sunscreen. This is a mattifying sunscreen. I was thinking, is the Dior cushion compatible with moisturizing skincare beneath, and maybe it's not compatible with any matte finish beneath it or any matte product. I don't think this cushion is compatible with any matte products beneath. So for us with oily skin, we really wanted to mattify our face just so that we won't look oily. I mean, this is a matte foundation, but I don't know if the oil control is really that good. Especially it has a luminous finish, but it's still matte but with a luminous finish. So I have mixed feelings if I should recommend this for people with oily skin. I'm sure people with combination skin will enjoy this, and for people with dry skin, I say that maybe people with dry skin will enjoy using this Dior cushion foundation. Okay, now for the color of the foundation, for me it's still a little light for my face, and I don't think it oxidized. Same as yesterday, it didn't really oxidize. So I don't have any bad experience of the foundation to be oxidized. So it didn't really oxidize on my face. So that's the good part of this Dior cushion. I'll just end this video and see if I can still do another review of this Dior cushion with other products. Maybe this time I'll use a hydrating primer. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Please subscribe to my channel, leave a thumbs up, hit that notification button, and I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye!